Right, welcome back to the channel. I've had to turn my overhead lights off as to not get a big reflection on the box here. We've got a very nice model 77095 UK FMCB, which has been picked up off of eBay for quite a reasonable price. Now I've had this sat on the shelf for a month or so, so I thought I would take it out of the box, because very often when you see a radio that's in a box and it's all shown as fairly new looking, there can be a reason why it's never been out of the box, and that can sometimes be because it's broken. So let's take this apart. I've no idea if it is or if it isn't, but we'll find out, of course, once we get it on the test equipment. So let's get it out and get it on the test equipment. Okay, with the box open, we can see that it definitely has been used. This is very often the case. People keep the boxes of radios in very good condition. Obviously use the product, which is quite normal, of course. So this does look like it's had some use, but you know, some people can pay as much for the box for the radio as the actual radio, if they particularly want one in that kind of condition. But this one, looking at this one, it doesn't look too well worn, but I don't think I've ever seen one of these mics in the flesh either. That's nice. The original microphone, and it looks to be in pretty good condition. The lead looks good. Original plug, mounting brackets we'll leave in there, not interested in those. So we'll put all this to one side and get it on the equipment. I've seen this on other sets, particularly old walkie-talkies, and if someone knows the reason why this happens, but when you get plastics that compress up against foam in packaging over time, you get this weird thing where it welds itself to the plastic. I've seen it on walkie-talkies. So answers on a postcard, I've no idea why that happens. The rest of the packaging is a little bit flaky, and for some reason I've never seen this either. This has got crocodile clips for its application of power. Not seen that before. We'll leave those affixed, but we will check the fuse just for now. Let's see if we can make ourselves laugh. Here we go. This is our first clue that something might be afoot here. The fuse has blown, and that was is that a 5 amp? I've no idea. So yes, that's our first clue that something might be afoot. We have a blown fuse. So okay, now spinning the case round, it looks in really quite good condition. So it was either in a lorry and wasn't used a great deal and kept in a sort of glove box or something, or it's had a problem where it's blown and it's been put away for a considerable number of years. Now this is obviously not a 42-year-old radio, but it's certainly of that vintage. I'll see if I can see a date on the box. No date on the box, but I'll put the date of manufacture on the bottom of the screen once I've edited the video, so you can get some idea when these came out. Now I do have quite a number of variants of this radio. Have I got another one on the shelf? I do have another one here on the shelf, which was, according to me, serviced by me on the 16th of the 12th 21. So that's always useful that I've got another one, and I should have a photograph of the innards with all of the relevant bits highlighted. So that's always nice, and it can save a lot of time, particularly if these are problematic. Right, with the lid off, there's no horrible smells and there's no visible signs of anything getting too warm. All of the capacitors all look to have still got their plastic shrouding more or less all the way up to the top, and moving it in to frame here, I can't see there's any visible signs of any tampering. So let's flip the bottom cover off and just have a look at the PCB. Right, it's looking pretty good on the underside here. I can't see that there's been any tampering. These are all factory modifications, and unlike some of the Midlands, this also doesn't have any of the screening plates, which can often cause dry joints and issues with these. So that's good. So we've not got to remove any of those. And I have had problems in the past with this chassis, and they can suffer from dry joints. So it may well be that the blown fuse in the power lead was simply somebody getting the connection around the wrong way. I shall just now check the diode just to make sure that the protection diode is intact. Okay, to do that you simply set your digital voltmeter to the diode mode. You should have that on your meter. You connect your negative probe to the positive lead, make sure the radio is switched off and not connected to any power, and then put the positive probe on your meter to the negative lead of the radio, and if there's a diode there and it's testing fine, you should be looking at about 0.5, as you can see there, to 0.6 of a volt, which shows that the diode is okay. And as you can see there, the green light on this particular meter, the UT615, is showing that we've got a good diode. Okay, so the moment of truth, it will come on channel 9, as this chassis always does. Okay, so we've not got the speaker in there, but we'll plug the microphone in now, and we'll pop the external speaker in and see if we're getting anything out of the set. But that's good. We're currently drawing 180 milliamps. Okay, so that's good. Okay, we've got the microphone plugged in now. Let's wind the squelch down. There we go. And we don't appear to have any crackly volume controls, which is normally a problem these have. We do transmit as we're all hooked up in that fashion. Okay, we're looking at 0.25 of a microvolt for 12 decibel silent, so that's very, very respectable, and it actually sounds good as well. So I don't think this is going to need much of an alignment there. 0.25 is quite respectable, although I think we might be able to get it lower. You'll notice there's no signal meter on this radio, so very basic to set this radio up. Okay, so we've got the President Randy in there just to check on the TX. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, that sounds nice and bright actually. Again, I don't think that's going to need much doing to it, and that's also proven that this rather unusual looking, but rather cool looking, I think, original microphone is actually working, which is great. Doesn't even look like it needs a clean much or anything. So TX power, then we'll have just a quick look at that. Okay, for TX power, you can see there we're just doing shy of just well, bang on 3 watts. So hopefully we can bring that up a little bit. And it's using 0.8 of an amp, so fairly efficient for your 3 watts there, but we'll try and improve on that with the tune-up. So let's see if we can find an overhead photograph all labelled up. Right, now going through my little photographs that I keep on file here, I didn't realise, but it's actually the same chassis that they used in the Donita 1240. Exactly the same. So if you've got one of these or a Donita 1240, here are what everything does within that radio. So I've not got to go and grab the diagram. We can see here what everything does. So let's start off by seeing if we can squeeze a bit more power out of it. So we're looking at that's the VCO, so don't touch that one. We're looking at T1, T2, T3, T4, which is just hiding behind the plate there, and T5. And you know, if it is underpowered, you might also be able to stretch the coils there, but if you do that, obviously get it on a spectrum analyzer and check that you've not got any strong out of band harmonics there. Yeah, I'm sure we can hopefully get a little bit more power out. Now I know on this chassis there is also a power adjustment here, so let's try first with this one to see if just by twiddling that we get a bit more power out. So I'll move you up to the power meter. Okay, we're on the power meter now, and I'm just going to turn that potentiometer up and down. So it's dropped down to 0.5 of a watt there, 0.5 amps on transmit, but our power is low, so obviously it's not liking something somewhere. We are connected to the power meter. I suspect that could be VCO, but can you see there that the power's dropped? So we may well have a thermal problem here. Let's see if I just tap something. There we go, we must have a dry joint, and you've seen that in real time. I just tapped the board there and that power came back. So but I'll nonetheless just try I'll just try this potentiometer, and indeed turning it clockwise brings the power down, and turning it anti-clockwise brings the power up, and we can take that all the way up to over 5 watts. In fact, look, 6 watts. Okay, now I've peaked all of these. One of the advantages of having this power adjustment is that I can set the meter to the lower range, the 2.5 watt range, wind the power all the way down, and then you get a much more accurate adjustment then, because the meter is more selective. So I've got these absolutely peaked, so now I should be able to turn this one fully up, and we'll just see. There you go, that's nearly 7 watts. That's as much as I've seen from a normal 2781 set for a long time. Not so sure how long the finals would last, but you know, sometimes you struggle to get 3 watts out of a new set. And here you go, this is doing 7 watts. Now again, I would stress that you would need to get that on a spectrum analyzer just to make sure all those watts were going out where they should be. But we'll turn this one down. We'll turn this down to 4, and I will check it on the SDR for anything spurious later. But simply now, because we've peaked it, we can turn it all the way down to bang on 4 watts. There we go. And honestly, it would make absolutely such little difference in the range between those two. I need to do a little test on that, but there we go, 4 watts. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ooh, look, that's very low, isn't it? Look, it's below 1 kilohertz. Yes, might be why it wasn't used that often, eh? So we try and bring that up a bit. We'll get the tone generator out and bring it up. And there is the deviation control in the top right there. Well, it's not been in a smoky environment, this radio. You can normally smell it. If you don't smoke like me and you open up one of these sets, you can smell it very quickly. Right, let's put the tone on and then bring that up a little bit and see if we can bring that up. Now, my experience with these is sometimes they're quite hard to bring up. We've brought that up to 2K with the tone, so let's just try that with a shouty test. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2, there you go. While we've got it set up for deviation, I am going to quickly just take this microphone apart and clean the switch contacts. You'd be amazed at the amount of difference that can sometimes make with the deviation I found in the past. In fact, I was going to do a video on that. I have to do that at some point. But we found on the last video, the volume controls, how much difference that made in the clarity of the reception and the received audio on the Synad meter. So I'm just quickly going to do that. It only takes a minute. Just quickly switch clean that, and then we'll pop it back on the meter and just check. Now this is interesting and something I didn't know. It's probably written on the box, but yeah, it hasn't got a dynamic mic. It's actually got a condenser mic. Look, I didn't know that. So there you go, you learn something every day. I don't remember doing the test on the other set with a condenser mic. I'm sure I used a dynamic mic, but there you go. So I shall give that switch a little clean. I thought that was a dynamic microphone. So if you've got one of these, or you're looking for a replacement mic, might be worth you investing in a condenser microphone. There we go. Okay, so we've got it is a normal 4-pin lead on this, isn't it? Let me just double check that. I didn't really check when I yeah, it is a 4-pin lead, so but it is a condenser microphone. There we go then. So that may well, yeah, that definitely wasn't set up correctly, was it? So let's see if that little bit of a clean has made any difference when we reassemble the microphone. There's the other parts of the microphone. Because it's so light, I actually put a weight, you see that plate in there? That's literally a weight just to give the microphone a bit more sort of heft, if you like. And there's the PTT. It's not particularly dirty. I perhaps will snow foam it once I've finished, just brighten it up a little bit. Okay, cleaning the microphone contacts didn't make any difference there, but it's definitely the microphone that comes with it. According to the box, does it say anything about, it just says front loaded ergonomic microphone, external speaker jack, and it definitely is the mic that should come with it. So yeah, I didn't realise that was a condenser microphone. 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Now I couldn't find the microphone, but that sounds fine on the local test on the President Randy. So we'll do a test with Mick anyway, hopefully. Okay, it's doing 27,79156. I think we can bring that down a little bit, can't we? There we go, 27,79126. They drop a little bit with age, so I'm happy with that. That's fine. Okay, so for the FM detector, that's there. We need to be adjusting that for peak output audio output. So what we're basically doing is monitoring the audio out, taking that signal into an oscilloscope, and we want to adjust that for peak audio. And to do that, we feed it with a signal of 100 microvolts from the signal generator, like that, and then we just adjust that on the oscilloscope. And there it is on the scope. We turn the sound down, stop blaring your ears with that, and then we'll just peak the detector. There we go. I think it was pretty much peaked anyway, so yeah, let's drop it down, bring it up, drop it down, bring it up. So that's where we're looking. So it was actually peaked. So I don't think we're going to improve receive. I'm going to do it. I'll just show you on this. We'll just zoom out from the scope. I'll just show you on the list there what you're looking at. R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5 in that order. So if you've got one of these, or a Denita 1240 or a similar chassis, that's what you need to do for your receive. But I don't think we're going to get much better, but I'll do that off camera and we'll come back and see if we can beat, what was it, 0.25 microvolts. Okay, we've got a little bit of an improvement, 0.24 of a microvolt for 12 dB Synod now. So that's pretty decent for one of these. I have had them better in the past, but that is pretty good. Like I said, I didn't think we'd really be able to improve on that at all. Right, so that just leaves the squelch, and what we'll do there is we'll set 100 microvolt signal level on the signal generator, and we'll fire that out to the radio, and then we'll adjust the squelch. We'll turn the squelch up to maximum, so on minimum, we'll turn it up to fully, so the squelch is up on full on the radio, and then we'll adjust the, I'll just grab my crib sheet here and hold this in front of the radio. You can see the squelch potentiometer shown there. Now on that Denita, all of those potentiometers were actually plastic. On these ones they're skeleton presets, so that's where the squelch adjustment is there. So let's see if the radio is opening the squelch there. Now the eagle-eyed amongst you would of course already have noticed that on this version of the board the squelch adjustment is there, and I think, I haven't tried it, but I think it's been moved. So on this one I think we'll find it's here, and it is indeed. Squelch is quite fussy on this. I've got it as good as I can get it. 0.13 of a microvolt. It's not coming in. Comes in at 0.15 and is off at 0.13. So that's as good as we can do with that one, unfortunately. With the squelch in the maximum position, nothing will come through. So I have to back it off a bit. But I think it's possibly just a characteristic of this set. I could always try the other one. So yeah, I think that's done. I don't think there's anything else to do. Quite amazing that one of these sets will do 7 watts though, isn't it? Not that I suggest that you do that. We'll quickly just test the PA and the CB switch function. One thing I was going to mention was, if you've got power to the radio, even if you turn it off, it will come back on the channel that you've had on, so it seems. So it comes back on channel 20 there. But if you disconnect the power going to the radio, then you lose that. Now I think I can see evidence of that on the ammeter, because even though this switch is in the off position, if you look at the power supply, interestingly we do have a little bit of quiescent current there. So I haven't looked at the circuit, but I can only think that that's what that is doing, is holding the channel position, which of course, you know, can get annoying if you know, especially if you're a trucker driver or something. Every time that you pull up and stop the engine or turn the ignition off, that well, I mean, I suppose you would lose it, wouldn't you, if you did that? So yeah, so that, I've just noticed that it does do that. It stays on the channel, which is nice. So we'll just check the PA function, because I don't think we've done that. We'll put it into PA. We'll just check that works. There's PA mode, 1 2 1 2 3. That's all working fine too. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. Nice little radio. I didn't find any dry joints on the back of it with that TX, and I've not had the issue since. So I'll keep an eye on that. I'll perhaps tap around again a little bit later on, but it may well have just have been me or a bad connection on the mic on the PTT, which we've since cleaned. So I've not had it do that since, so I'm assuming that's okay. I will run up and down the channels, just double checking TX and RX. We're in PA mode. Just pop it into, we'll move it over into TX mode as well. So we'll just whizzing down the channels. We've got channel 30, it's going into transmit. There we go. I do prefer a rotary dial for the channel change. Channel 40, we're getting transmit, and then the acid test channel 1. So it's all across the band there. We're good. So yeah, very tidy, nice little set. Really pleased, because upon initial inspection I did worry we were going to have a problem, but it's all been fairly plain sailing really. Alright, popped a new fuse in there and took the clips off the end of the wire there. I don't need those. And yeah, we'll see if we can raise Mick for a quick audio test on it. It'd be interesting to see. Like I say, it really caught me out with the microphone. Had no idea that was a condenser microphone. But at least I know that now for my other one I've got on the shelf, that was what it was originally intended to be. So there we go. So let's plug it all in and see what Mick thinks to it. Right, okay, Mick should be on frequency now, hopefully. Today's radio that we're just testing is a Midland 77095.
Now I've actually got one of these. I didn't realise I'd already got one in the drawer, but and I didn't realise it was a condenser mic on these either, Mick. I thought these were a dynamic mic, so there you go. I learned something today. But I've just been through on the video, as you've already seen, and done a quick alignment of this set, but it was actually in pretty good shape and quite a powerful little beast. This one can easily do 7 watts on transmit, and not seen many radios that have ever been capable of doing that. So fair play. Obviously they did something right back then. But I've turned it back down to 4. I wonder what it sounds like to you there, Mick.
Yeah, okay, Paul. This is Mick this end. And yeah, you're sounding very, very good to me, actually. Audio quality is good. Nice tone to it as well, coming through this radio, which is the 440. And it's just on its own internal speaker on the radio as well. So yeah, excellent audio. Just a little bit of white noise, but nothing too serious, Paul.
Yeah, Rog, yeah, likewise, you're sounding absolutely great. This radio is doing 0.21 or 0.22 of a microvolt, so very sensitive and very clean sound.
Very clean sounding set as well, so powerful and good received. So you know, they don't spend the money on the signal meter on these radios, and perhaps they put it into the components, because I've found these chassis to work very, very well in the past, and this is no exception. So I'm really pleased that it's working so well today. And it's a nice compact little set as well, and it also came with the original box and brackets and everything else. So yeah, really pleased with that. So it's another one we can pop on the shelf and keep an eye on for a while until I decide what to do with the few sets I've got lying around. I've got a few. Okay, well thanks ever so much for that test. I'll put it back round to you for a final, and then we'll wrap this video up. Thanks again, Mick.
Yeah, okay, Paul, that was very good audio there.
Nice strong signal as well, and couldn't fault it one little bit, so we will see. You can make your verdict when you get the video, so if I ever get it to you, that is. That's another thing we got to sort out. Okay, mate, back to you.
Yeah, Rog, thanks again. Yeah, Mick was just making reference to the fact there.
That had a little bit of trouble transferring some video from his end, but I think we've got that sorted out now. So hopefully we'll be able to whistle on into the future with a few more of these videos, Mick. I think we'll be okay. All right, thanks again, and if you have been, thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I say I've got a fun little video I'm going to pop out in the week. It's a bit of a test, a bit of radio testing around some local estates and stuff. So I'm going to be doing that this week at some point, so keep an eye on the channel for that, and yeah, we'll move on and upwards. So if you have been, thanks ever so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next.